that was an incredible series, especially the last two games, and especially the way the Cubs pulled off the victory for the series. Whoo! Welcome back to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. I'm your host, David Butler. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and leave us some comments on YouTube and or any audio platform. The Milwaukee Brewers review, I said on my podcast the other day, I would have been ecstatic with one victory out of the three. And they got that yesterday. And then they pulled off today. Damn! That was awesome. They won 2 out of 3. They got, given the pitching circumstances, I think that is absolutely astounding and amazing. Absolutely awesome. The pitching got bleaker throughout the series, though, but they still pulled off 2 out of 3 against a very, very good team. And the offense struggled, but I'm going to choose to believe that that happened because Milwaukee's pitching is really, really good. The starting pitchers and the bulk guy, Bryce Wilson, were brilliant throughout this whole series. David Peterson, who they just traded for, Ryan Rollison, and Bryce Wilson combined for 17 innings and allowed 4 runs in those innings this series. That's phenomenal. No matter how else you look at it, that is phenomenal. The bullpen needs even more help now. They lost Hobie Milner now. We'll touch on that in a minute. And Phil Maton over the weekend. Roberts is getting in bigger spots like I was hoping he would get, but he's not responding well in those spots. And that sucks. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen Ethan Roberts and Ryan Rollison switch roles today into Sunday's game, where Roberts came in and got the first 2 innings. I think that would have been a little less pressure for him. And Rollison has been phenomenal. I know he gave up the home run to Gary Sanchez, but the dude has just been fantastic. And I think he probably would have been better in that 10th inning role. Maybe he wouldn't have lasted that long. I don't know. But that's just hindsight is 2020. I get that. I get that I'm probably splitting hairs a little bit with that, but I just think that would have made more sense for the two guys, given the situations and their experience and everything else. So, not much from the offense, like I said. They did enough. Pretty solid offensive effort in Game 2. Great pitching, though, folks. I mean, we faced Mizorowski. We knew that was an uphill climb. Colin Ray did amazing. It is what it is. We got to Kyle Harrison a little bit, not much. I mean, it was the bullpen that we got to, but that's a feat too, folks. I mean, I'm not unhappy by any means. I'm ecstatic with the fact that we won 2 out of 3. We are now in second place. I'm trying to get back to the standings so I could say I'm 99% sure that the standings are that we're 5.5 back. I'm verifying real quick. Yes, 5.5 back, 8-2 in the last 10. Whew, that's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. We're 1 game back to the top wildcard spot. Does that mean that we're going to finish in that? No. But this is a team that has been absolutely decimated by pitching injuries. Starting staff and bullpen. Just decimated. And it is killing what we're able to put on the field. And the fact that we sit 8 games above 500 right now. And again, we're 8 games above 500. 84 games in. A little more than halfway through the season. If everybody knew all the injuries we were going to have at this point in time, we would all be shocked at where we're sitting. If we knew all that going in, like at the beginning of the season and everything else. It's still disappointing after having a 20-3 run. No doubt. right? But we survived a 10-game losing streak. We survived absolutely dismal play from the offense. And somehow the team is now again 8 games above 500 and in the 5th seed in the National League. So, cool. You know what I mean? I mean, do I expect it to continue? I think it's going to be a grind for a while until we can get some starting pitchers healthy and or figure out some guys to trade for. I touched on the last episode that I really think David Peterson can be a good find. He pitched all right. He pitched solid enough in Saturday's game, and that was just getting into the system. Let's see what else they can do for him. Let's see what kind of confidence builds in this guy, knowing that he has a defense like he has behind him. He was shocked to see the play that Nico Horner made. Shocked. I wasn't. I imagine most Cub fans who watch this team on a regular basis were not shocked at all by that. But David Peterson was, because David Peterson comes from an organization that didn't put stock into that. They preferred to try and get flashy guys. Marcus Semien, who has been a Gold Glove defender, looked like crap when we played the Mets. And that's the way their team is right now. It's crazy. Possible trade targets. I was going to try and get into some of those guys, but I'm not going to right now. I am just going to overlay some of the things that we might be looking for. First, you'd have to look to see who'd be considered to be in any races. If they're even a wild card race, they're not going to be considered a seller most of the time. What the Diamondbacks did last year was shocking because they were still kind of in it and had chances, and they still traded off. So there's going to be 1 or 2 teams probably who do that, a la maybe the Minnesota Twins who kind of did that last year. I expect that they may be considered that, but I'm not putting them in that. If any team was within 5 games of a playoff possibility, I did not name them as possible trade sellers in this. I've got 7 teams right now that qualify under that for me. There's 4 AL teams. The Royals, however, though all 4 of those teams are within 7 games of a wild card spot. Even the Royals, who are 15 games under 500. But I think that the Red Sox, Angels, Tigers, and Royals will all be sellers. And so I'm going to put them in guys who I'm going to look at as guys on their team that for the next episode, that I think we should try and possibly target. And I'm going to lay out a bunch of guys who could be targets, and I'm going to say who I think are the best ones. Again, on the next episode. Right now, I'm just talking about the teams. In the NL, we got the Giants, Mets, and Rockies, who all fit the criteria of 5 games or more than 5 games away from a wild card spot or any playoff spot. The Cubs have already made a trade with the Mets for Peterson, but that costs us our 13th best prospect. And I know that the rankings for prospects for the Cubs are not great early on in the season. I think in mid-season is going to put us in the top 15, though. This system is far better than people thought it was, and they've had a lot of breakout players. Now, I don't think that Cole Mathis is one of those breakout players. I think that he's probably not the 13th best prospect in the Cubs organization, but that is where he was ranked. And I do think he can be a quality major league player. I just felt like it was a little high, but I get it because it was a month earlier than what is most of these deals are going to happen. So, and I also think that Peterson can be better and will be better for the Cubs than he was for the Mets over the past calendar year. Because he was great going into he was an all-star last year, and then he fell off big time, and that continued throughout the first half. I'm not saying he's going to be like Ben Brown and break the hell out like Ben did, but I think he can be a solid contributor and help us get to where we want to get, and that's in the playoffs. And I know a lot of people have given up, and even I've said, man, we got to stop worrying about the division. I don't think that's Like, if everything falls right for us from here on out and we make some deals, I don't think that's a crazy possibility. The offense has got to do their part, though. They cannot have a month and a half, 2 month slump again. They just can't. Like, that's just not something that can happen, especially if we want to win a division. But even winning the wild card spot, I just don't think that can happen like that again. But I do think that things can go right for us. So, Jameson Tyone on the guys who are injured is the only one who looks like maybe coming back in the next possible few weeks. Everybody else is out for a while. Speaking of injuries, Ben Brown now has a stress reaction in his neck. Same issue that he had in 24. It's got to heal before anything else can be determined, before he can start a throwing program or anything. And that's not great news. It's just not. Hobie Milner had emergency appendectomy on June 27th. He will be out at least 4 to 6 weeks. The good news with that is that it's nothing with his elbow or shoulder, elbow, any of that. He's just got to heal from his surgery. And those things happen. And it sucks because he was definitely our most reliable reliever for the season right now. They're going into, even over Danny Palencia, I think. Phil Maytime, still having issues with that right knee. So maybe that's been part of his issue still. I don't know. But if that's the case, he's still having an issue with it, do not bring him back until he is 100% healthy. That's asinine if they do. It doesn't make sense. He's not pitching well. He's hurting the team more than he's helping it. Facts are facts, right? Do not bring him back until he is healthy. He is not expected back until sometime after the All-Star break, at the earliest. Just talked about JMO. He threw a session on the 26th and is scheduled for live BP on the 30th. Those are good signs. The question is, what JMO are we getting back? Edward Cabrera has an abductor strain, which is a fancy way of saying a groin injury. A groin strain. He's to be determined on a return date. I don't expect, if he comes back anytime in early August or later, that makes sense to me. And I'll be ecstatic. But I want him fully healthy as well. Daniel Palencia has a mild right flexor strain. This is all, again, MLB.com. Taken from that. Danny is hoping to start throwing program this week while the team is back in Chicago. We'll see. Again, I know that it sucks. The whole situation sucks with our pitching. But we've had so many injuries. Bringing somebody back before they're ready and fully healthy is stupid at this point. There's too many issues to be fumbling with all that stuff. Just too many. Justice Steele resumed throwing on the 22nd of June. That's great news. I know we talked about it a little bit on the last episode. Hoyer said he is not expecting Justin Steele to be a starter at all this year. Maybe in short bursts. So coming out of the bullpen, that could be an awesome weapon out of the bullpen, folks. An awesome weapon. Not where we want him to be, but still. Anyway, if Justice Steele can help this team in any way, we need to jump all over it because that man is a stud. And Riley Martin has also resumed playing catch and is doing small throwing sessions. The hope is that he can return sometime in July, even if it's August. The way he was pitching was phenomenal. I really hope he's not somebody that might be traded, and that he is somebody we keep and on the Major League roster. Some of the guys who could be available, we're probably going to have to give up guys like Matt Shaw or Moises Ballesteros or Jefferson Rojas or Pedro Ramirez. Or there's just a wealth of different possibilities. And none of that sounds fun at all. But if we can get starters who can come in that are controllable or bullpen guys who can be huge assets, I think everything has to be considered right now. You know what I mean? San Diego Padres preview. Probable starters. On Monday, we got right-handed pitcher Griffin Canning going against Shota Imanaga. Griffin is 1-5 with a 7.38 ERA versus left-hander Shota Imanaga, 5-6 with a 4.40 ERA. Had a couple really good starts where he didn't give up any home runs, and then he gave up a ton last game again. He's got to get that figured out. He's just got to. He did minimize, like, there's a lot of solo stuff, you know what I mean? But still. On Tuesday, we got left-handed pitcher J.P. Sears, 4-4 with a 5.21 ERA against Matthew Boyd, 5-1, or 2-1, I'm sorry, with a 5.02 ERA. Remember, though, this guy got shelled early and then got hurt. He looked really solid in his last start. I expect that to continue here against the Padres. And on Wednesday, we got Walker Buehler, 5-3 with a 3.81 ERA. He's pitched much better lately. Probably the toughest starter we'll be facing in this series. Versus Colin Ray at 5-5 with a 4.80 ERA. The Padres are in second place in the West and currently have a 43-38 record, although they are currently playing and losing to the Dodgers. I think that has updated since then, so let me check that. Yes, the Padres lost that game, and they are now 43-39. And in second place still in the West, though. I'm not gonna. This is still a good, solid team. They have a lot of players who are offensively underproducing and not producing the way they generally do, and that can change at any moment, especially against us. Like, it seems like guys like Manny Machado and Jackson Merrill and even Miguel Andujar like to tee off against us. So don't take any of this for granted. Offensively, they are led by Ty France, who has an 810 OPS. 880 on the road, though, but it's considered day-to-day, so I don't know if he will be starting in the series in the first game or two. Hopefully, not that I want anybody to be injured, but hopefully we just kind of miss the guy. Gavin Sheets, a 776 OPS, but 918 OPS on the road. And Fernando Tatis at 714 OPS. Not hitting for a ton of power. Has started to get into it a little bit more, though. They also have Manny Machado, Bogarts, and Jackson Merrill. Their bullpen is led by Wandy Peralta, left-handed pitcher with a 1.91 ERA. Jason Adams, a righty with 2.37 ERA. Yuki Matsui, a lefty with 1.63 ERA. Damn, those are great ERAs. And I haven't even talked about the best relief pitcher in the whole freaking game yet, in Mason Miller, who has a 0.79 ERA and 21 saves. He's about to just obliterate his personal save record that he's had. The dude is a stud, and we don't want to face him. The Padres offense is averaging 3.94 runs per game, which is good for 29th in the majors. That increases some on the road, but this is still not a great offensive team so far this season. Their starting staff is not great also, and there are some obvious holes in the guys we're about to face. But if we get into that relief, they're going to shut us down. This is an excellent team in the relief pitching. We don't want to get there. We don't want to put it up to that and have to mess with all that. Our players of the week are Dansby Swanson. He had 1 double, 1 triple, 3 home runs, 5 runs scored, and 15 RBIs. 1 stolen base. Most of that was all done in the Mets series. But he was just astounding. 292 average with 280 on base percentage, a 792 slug, and a 1,072 OPS. Colin Ray was my starting pitcher of the week this week. Again, 1 game start, 5 innings, 1.80 ERA, a 263 average, 680 OPS, and a 3.31 FIP. And Jacob Webb was my relief pitcher of the game, or the week. 3 games, 3 innings. I think it was actually 4-4. 0 ERA, a 0 batting average, a 231 OPS, and a 4.11 FIP. So that was a bit higher. Obviously, there was some issues with some, but he
go Cubs, go!
And that's right. Go Jacob Webb, go too. And I'm David. We thank you very much for watching and or listening to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. Please leave us some 5-star reviews and a comment or 2 on the way on YouTube and or any audio platform. Have a great day.
Go Cubs, go!